One man. One list. 101 women. Some fantasies are too true to be good. Roderick Blank is an executive at the successful high-end fast food chain, Swallows. He is engaged to be married to a beautiful woman, Fiona Wormwood. On the day of his bachelor party, he receives an email from an unknown sender listing all the women he has slept with. The list contains 101 names, but his fiancée A is only number 29. His personal assistant, Trixie, reads the email with him, and they initially think it's a prank by his best friends. However, he meets number 30, Carlotta Valdez, the stripper at his bachelor party, and ends up sleeping with her. Number 31 on the list is Playboy playmate Cynthia Rose, who is scheduled to appear at a public event. Roderick meets her as she tries to escape from a group of nerds. They have dinner together and bond, and Cynthia takes him home, introducing him as her boyfriend to her father. That night, Cynthia invites Roderick to her room for sex. But he mistakenly enters her grandmother's room and ends up having sex with her in the dark. The next morning, the grandmother dies, and Roderick discovers that her name was also Cynthia. Roderick realizes the list includes all of his intimate partners, past and future. He decides to clap all the women on the list and cancels his upcoming wedding with Fiona, leading to Fiona breaking up with him. He is confronted by 3 mysterious individuals named Alpha, Beta, and Fred from an organization known as the Agency. They inform Roderick that the list was accidentally sent to him and originates from a machine that can predict the future. Alpha advises Roderick to destroy the list, warning that it could ruin his life. However, Roderick chooses to disregard Alpha's advice. Roderick begins sequentially clapping each person on the list. Number 32 is Greta, whom he meets in a bar and has an intense, intimate encounter. He starts actively seeking out the women on the list and avoids any who are not on it. Despite forming connections with some of these women, he feels compelled to continue until he has completed the list. He even seduces a lesbian power couple, Bambi Kid and Thumperwind, and has a threesome with them, ultimately causing their breakup. Concerned for his mental health, his friends advise him to bury the list. Before doing so, he catches a glimpse of the next name, noting only Doctor and the first few letters. Roderick develops feelings for Lester's charming and quirky veterinarian, Miranda Storm, thinking she is the next name on the list due to their many common interests. However, he finds out that she only wants to be friends. After digging up the list, he finds out that Miranda is not on it, and that the next name is Dr. Mirabella Stone. Tragically, Miranda dies in an accident. The mortician on duty at the morgue turns out to be Mirabella, and Roderick ends up sleeping with her. Meanwhile, a female vigilante known as Death Knell is targeting men she believes have taken advantage of women. She seduces these men, drugs them into a coma, and leaves them with a line of poetry spray painted on the wall or ceiling. The next name on Roderick's list is Hope Heartlight. Roderick calls her directly through the phone book to schedule a meeting to have sex. Hope decides to visit him because his calls had upset her mother, which she had been trying to do for years. Hope is an author in her 50s. She is warm and compassionate. Despite their connection, Roderick eventually breaks up with her. After Death, Nell's latest conquest, she accidentally leaves her driver's license behind, revealing her true identity, Jillian DeRay Sachs, on television. Roderick's fragile mental state deteriorates further when he discovers that Jillian is the last name on his list. The agency tells Roderick that Death Knell has killed more than 10 people, and that they have been searching for her for some time. They ask him to avoid having sex with the next 20 women on the list until they can capture Death Knell. Roderick decides to give up his sexual escapades and takes up various hobbies to avoid temptation. However, after an accident during a bike ride, he is discovered by a group of female students from a Catholic college who believe he has been divinely delivered to deflower them. Unable to resist, Roderick moves from number 82 to number 99 in a single afternoon. He then realizes only one woman remains and remembers that the girl's bus driver was number 100. Aware that death knell is the final person on his list and fearing for his life, Roderick first isolates himself and then tries to alter his fate by searching for another Gillian de Raysex. However, when he discovers that the agency is nearing the capture of Death Knell, he has a change of heart. Overcome with guilt for his past behavior towards his previous partners, he chooses to confront the consequences of his actions. Roderick and Gillian meet at a diner where they share a meal and talk. Gillian reveals that she was a former poetry and chemistry student who married young and was forced to perform degrading sexual acts by her abusive husband. After his accidental death caused by Gillian, she decided to exact similar retribution on other men who mistreated women. However, she now feels drained from the experience and doubts her resolve to continue. They both agree to take a sedative, and they take the pills at the same time, spending the night together. Roderick and Gillian survive the sedatives, discovering that Gillian's name wasn't the last name on the list due to Roderick's imminent death, but because he chose to stay monogamous with her. They end up happily married and have a son together. Subsequently, the victims of Death Knell who were in comas are revived. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.